Internet love, beautiful people, and welcome back to a new video. Have you ever asked yourself, what is a human consciousness? What is consciousness and how does it relate to awareness and to self? Let us now inquire together and find out answer for ourselves. Infinite love. To be ready to inquire, you have to have an open mind. You have to have this kind of mind that is ready to question, to observe, to listen, and not to talk all the time while it is inquiring. That mind is the mind that will not say, I reject this, I do not agree with you, but kind of mind that will say, okay, let us listen together, let us observe together and inquire and question, is this really true? So now that we have set the ground, let us start by asking, what is consciousness? And more specifically, what is human consciousness? To find an answer, we have to observe the whole human mankind and a specific human being. Just to know that you exist is to be aware. And this awareness is all perceiving, it's everything. You have awareness, the cat has awareness, the bug has awareness, we all have awareness. The awareness is in every living human being and every living animal and plant. Everything has its own awareness. But what is a consciousness? So the consciousness is collection of all memories, feelings, everything that has one collected. So you as a human being have a consciousness of a human being. You have collected a vast knowledge, vast memory, and also your body, your brain, your DNA holds the memory of a human. So in a way you have been conditioned for millions of years through the evolution and collected all of this memory, and now you are part of a human consciousness. The human being, when we are speaking to human beings, we refer to the physical form, not something imaginary, because we have to use words to explain. We are not talking about awareness or something else. So the human being has collected the memory. So before even you are born, you have memory inside you, the consciousness of a human being. So it's the same with the dog. If the dog is born, it has the collected memory of the dog. It knows some instinctual behaviors to a dog, and the human has some instinctual behavior to a human being. So we are part of that consciousness when we are born in this physical form. When we are brought in this world, we are constantly bombarded with information from our parents to a whole world, to everything that you ever experienced. Everything that you ever experienced is stored inside of your own brain. And this brain collects everything. But the problem is, everything is not whole, because the brain, even though records everything, cannot remember everything in a moment. So every knowledge that the brain has collected is limited. But now, let's get back to human consciousness. So this human consciousness, as it is now, is a reflection of every human being that is living now on this planet. So we, as a human beings, we create a collective human consciousness. This collective human consciousness exists in every single human being on this world, and collectively we create this human consciousness. But if the new human being is born, this collective consciousness is being uploaded on this new human being. So we are whole human mankind, and the whole human mankind is us. So if you observe the human consciousness around you, you can see that it lacks compassion, love. We have stranded into a human consciousness that is guided by a thought. So this thought has created division inside of humans and also inside of human consciousness. It has created wars, it has created nationalities, religions, all kinds of divisions. The division that go so deep that even there are people that are tying themselves to a specific football club or basketball club. We are against them, they are against us. So the division, because the thought comes from the time and the knowledge, it is always fragmented, limited. And this human consciousness as it is right now, it's only using a thought as its whole and only tool to see and observe the world. The thought is dead. The thought is past. When you are bringing a thought, you are actually digging in a graveyard. You are searching something for what is dead and using it now, to solve now. This kind of thinking creates division inside of a human being and also creates conflict, war, lack of love and lack of compassion. So, what is one to do? How can one change himself and the whole human mankind? When we say change, it is very important to know that change is in everything. Everything changes except awareness. So if one human being is completely aware and it's not using a thought as a main tool and rather start to develop the skill of observation, so it observes and see what is going on, this human being will also be not guided by its desire, but guided by its observation. And it will do what is needed to do when it's needed to do. Not because it wants and not because it don't want. So this human being that is completely aware, that is not guided by a thought, rather it uses a thought when it's needed. Not because the thought is using him. This human being will be creating a new human consciousness. So it will step out of the stream of the consciousness of entire human being and go in another way. It will basically create a new human consciousness. This human consciousness is the human consciousness that all human beings have to change to, because it is the compassion, it is love, it is guided by observation. And when you completely observe, your brain, just observation changes your brain cells. You completely change so that you are no longer guided by a thought, but by awareness and observation. So this human being is compassionate, loving. It's completely opposite of that what is now human consciousness. So please start developing the skill of observation. Observe free of your own knowledge, free from your own conclusions. Observe yourself, how you function in a relationship with other human beings. Just by being conscious, aware of what you are doing, without commenting, you are wrong, you are good. Just being aware what is happening will allow the true intelligence or infinite intelligence to flow through you, so that you can be a full awareness and a full human being with a completely different consciousness. So that is why I say always change yourself first, because If you do not start to use the skill of observation, you will be always guided by a thought, and you will be always fragmented, and you will always go in the same direction as the rest of the human mankind. And this consciousness is consciousness without love, without compassion, with wars and destroying and killing each others. If you do not believe me, just observe for yourself. You will see the state in this, where this world is. And it's not because the world is like that. We are the world, and the world is us. When one human being changes, the whole human mankind, the entire consciousness is changing. Thank you for inquiring with me. Please observe for yourself. Find out for yourself, is this true? See the human mankind and see what the thought does to you and the whole human consciousness. Until next video, infinite love.